Hello, it's Braeden Wilson, and I have a question for you. Would you like to hear a story? The story that I will be retelling today is Percy Shelley's Ozymandias, and Ozymandias is actually a poem. It's not a story, it's a poem. But it can still be a narrative because even a poem can tell a great story. Now, Ozymandias is different in the way that it's formed. A lot of poems are third person, especially those with stories. This one is a first person the entire way through, so we don't actually have a name for our main character. We just know that he is talking about an experience that he had meeting with a traveler from another land, which he calls antique. It's an antique land, who basically proceeds to tell him throughout the course of the poem about a statue that he finds, which he describes as two vast and trunkless legs of stone. So all we have in this are legs. That's all they are. And then near them in the sand is a shattered visage, which is essentially a bust from here, about mid chest up on a person. In the sand, with a face on it, with a cold lip, a wrinkled frown, and a sneer of command that suggests that this person was probably important or royal, even. And after describing how much detail had gone into this, and that it's the fact that its sculptor was probably proud that it was still standing even at that day, he then proceeds to tell our main character what was on the plaque or on the pedestal that was sitting underneath the legs. And on that pedestal is written 3 or 4 lines that make this poem perfectly rememberable. And those lines are: "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair." And yet, even after all of this, that giant statement that says, "Look at me, I am big, I am noticeable," nothing else is there. Nothing else remains of the colossal wreck that sits in the desert. That's it. 2 legs, a pedestal, and an inscription saying to fear this person. Now, this poem, well, it is a poem. I like it. It kind of connects with me to the fact that everything has an end. There is nothing out here that lives forever. And that's what this poem says to me. It says to me, time, decay, and forgetfulness eventually befall everything. We can try as hard as we want to try to remember something, to grasp it, to hold on to it, but eventually everything fades away. It is an unwritten law of life, and even then it's been written down in some places. This poem is a perfect example of even the great things of life can fade. Now, you might be wondering, who is Ozymandias? Who is this man? Ozymandias was another name for Ramses II, who was one of the great kings of Egypt. Which is why he had a big old statue out in the desert saying, "Look upon my works, ye mighty, and tremble," because he helped found Egypt, which even still today we gaze upon, and we do tremble because some of it's pretty big and pretty scary. But even though Egypt is still here, the kingdom and the style that Ramses founded doesn't exist anymore. It's moved on. Time has passed it by. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to your feedback.